They how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you make Yagorath the biggest champion in the game, height and size wise, the least now she with this these changes, she is the least effectively the least health champion frontline in the game. How do you do this? And her ultimate is now right now as it is on PTS, her ultimate is useless. It's useless. Why? Because before the last nurse to her ultimate was only good within 50 units of someone, which means if they were around 75 units, but they was above 75 units away from them, they could break out by themselves. That was before the last change. This change made it so. After the last change, it made it so the only time Yakura Ultimate was even possible to land was within 50 units, meaning you will have to be at, depending on the champion, of course, one champion come to mind who easy to O, regardless, and that's Terminus. But Yagra Ultimate before the last nerf turn was only useful within 50 units. And you can only really guarantee landing within 20 units of somebody else. That's the only time you could land it. Period. There was no guarantee before the last nurse to devour. The only time you can for sure land it was if they were in within 20 units of you. If you don't know 20 units up, look at the lines. Like each line is, I guess, represent 10 units. It's hard to tell, but you had to be at least this close to guarantee it will land. At least so, 30 units was the minimum to guarantee it land. But this you had to be right here on a person to make sure there was no chance for them to get out, or if their teammate come, there was the higher than 50% chance you will break their you will devour them. But now look at this. I'm this close enough. I cannot devour because they put a minimum distance off it.
Who refuse to
And
stand in my way?
look, look, he's right there at that line. Right? I'm here. I have to go back behind this line. Well, about here to get it. Right? Also, what they did is, if it's not up, it won't work. That's all. So, you see, you saw that 1 second slowdown? You saw that 1 second slowdown? That was the previous nerf to it. So, you could not use it from this far away and have it guaranteed to land because of that 1 second delay. If I pulled a Victor, a Grok, uh, around certain champion hit scan champions from this distance before the last nerf, there was I would say there was a 25% chance you were landing. But at this distance, after the last nerfs to Devour, there was, I mean, again, after this nerf to Devour, where you cannot use it if you were in 50 units because they have a minimum range now. So if you were in 50 units of a champion, there, you can't use it. And 50 units, look out, this is 50 units. From here to there, that's 50 units, right? Before, the only time you can use it, before this change, the only time you can use it and have a chance of landing was within this distance. From here to that, to 250, that's how far. That's the minimum you could use it and be for sure about landing. Before, you can maybe use it at 50 and have a good chance of landing, depending on the champions and stuff. But now, the only range Yagorath Ultimate was good at was within 50 units before this nerf. After the last nerf before this nerf, this was the only distance 50. So for them, it's like it's about here.
Who refuse to stand in my way?
Oh, it's a little further. Huh? Are they further than 50? Also, I never figured out what RI was for. What? Oh wait, no, I'm doing
I
this
am
backwards.
the end of
I am doing this
all.
backwards. I need to get close enough first. Okay. Yeah, this. Yeah, here. Okay, I was doing that backwards because I'm thinking 50 unit max, but not minimum. All right, but here, this was the only between 50 units was the only time you can for sure have a chance to land. But really, here, this close, which is about 20 to 30 units away, was the only time you can for sure land Yakura ult. Period. Before this, you couldn't land. Before this chain, you didn't have to be this close. Before, no, before the last chain, you didn't have to be this close. Before the last change,
Relocating.
you had a chance to land it from here. You had a chance to land it from it. It wasn't guaranteed, but you had a slight chance. You had at least 50% chance to land it within 75. And I'm trying to get within 75. Let's see. Also, they are closer by 20 units, so that's 20, that's 30, 40, 50, 60. So 70. Don't turn, no, 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 no. 75 is roughly here. Right. And this was a risk before the last nerf to Devour. Because you try to ult somebody at this range, let's count. One, two, three, four, five, 8 seconds.
Rampage.
Now it didn't have it had half of the initial pull that I have now, so that would be 7.5 seconds roughly from out to kill. 7.5 seconds is enough time for Victor to break out Yagorath before the last chance. Brock, sure. Tyra, yes. 8 seconds. If it was 8 seconds, if okay, if it was 8 seconds for them to break out, there was a guaranteed chance they was gonna break out. So you would never, and I mean never, try to out him from max range. Never. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, roughly 10 seconds. That was a guaranteed break. That's there was no doubt that they was gonna break that. This is a guaranteed break, and this is with just barely within her max range.
Rolling out.
Max range will be here, but let me grab another one. So max range. Oh, little off center. I gotta get on this dot. Let's see. It's so hard to get exact. I'm gonna slide up a little. There. Right? This is max range from that center Victor. Or about. This is like barely winning. 50, so he's about 15 to 20 years from the wall. But let's count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Unstoppable.
So roughly 12 seconds to kill. It'll be roughly 11 to 11.5, meaning at max range, there was no chance for you to land the ultimate. It will only land on Terminus because he have no way to attack you from any range unless he's really close to you. At this range, right? Before the last nerf, this this was never an option. This was an option for distraction. If you need to do it from this far away, it was because you wanted to distract the other team. That's it. You dying didn't matter. You dying didn't matter. It was a purely a distraction. Ah, so hard. So I'm pressing forward and she turning. Wait, sliding forward. I don't. No, no, no. Oh, okay, let me line this up better.
Who presumes to
Why?
stand
Why?
in my
Why? Why?
way?
Why? Don't turn. Why are you turning? Why are you turning? I press forward. I tap forward and she turns. I tapped forward and she turned. I tapping forward. Okay, let's there. Okay. Oh, that's so annoying. But yes, using your ultimate at this distance was never an option because you want to land on your ultimate. It will be more impactful. But using this distance, the only reason you would do this is one, the rest of their team is dead, and you want to stall them out as long as possible. So yeah, do this. And two, just a distraction. Because if the rest of the team did, that means you have roughly, depending on the map, 14 seconds before someone from that team get back to the where you are. So yeah, this was, a kill because them being by themselves, they have no option to fight back. Even still, if certain champions, they could still break out this by themselves. So you will never do this. And
Relocating.
it's hard to do this. Okay, let's see if I can get up to 100 from them. Well, see, I turn. Here was still a risk of them break out. This is about 100 away. So this was a risk you would never do. If you do this, it's either Terminus, because again, Terminus was a guaranteed kill if he was by himself and everything. But even this was a risk. This was the maximum range you will want to use our ultimate. Now, let me see if I can get within 75 of them, which will be right there. Don't turn too much. Here. Oh, I need a little. Why are you turning? I'm pressing it right and I press forward, she went left. I press right and she went left. Stop going left. Stop going left. Here was still the risk for mini champions. Before the last night, you had less than 50% chance of landing this. It was still a risk, but you had, like I said, at most 25% chance of landing. Only on Terminus was this a guarantee, but any range on Terminus because he had no way to attack from range was a guarantee. If it was just Terminus by itself, so everybody else, this was less than 50% chance of landing. And I mean everybody else. Even Ash had a 50-50 chance of breaking out of this by herself. From here to there, if I owed Ash, she had a roughly a 50-50 chance to break out, especially if she had Slug Shot. Old Ash from there with Slug Shot, she was going to break out by herself. By herself. And that's saying some Ash have the lowest damage output of any frontline. And she could have broke out by herself from that range. From there. Pulling her from there, she was going to break out. With Slug Shot, there was a guarantee she was going to break it. From this range before the last name, there was a 50-50 chance Ash was going to break out. Especially if you catch her with full ammo, 50-50. 50-50. She got full ammo setup and everything. 50-50 chance she was going to break out from this. Slug Shot, 50-50 chance she would break out from pulling out from that far. Not 50-50, 100% chance she was going to break out from that far away. Slug Shot with max ammo, 1% chance she would break out from max range. By herself. Before the last nerf, this was a 50-50 chance on most champions. After the last
Who
nerf,
refused to stand in my way?
within 50 became a 50-50 chance of landing. So before this change, this was a 50-50 chance of landing. Because by themselves, if you catch them by themselves, nearly a guarantee. Most champions. Nearly a guarantee before the last nerf to develop. After the last nerf, there was a chance they could break out by themselves. So within 50 was Yagorath's sweet spot before the last nerf. Before, after the last nerf, here was the only chance you can land that Yagorath ultimate. Within 50 by a lot, so it's around 30 to 25 was Yagorath's sweet spot. There was no way for you to land the ultimate most of the time, or at least have a 50-50 chance within 50 units, or outside 50 units, but especially within 30 units. This was the only way you can guarantee it. See, now he's the only one I can grab, and they're all right here. So imagine being on the other team. Imagine being Yagorath, and everybody on the other team is within this range, within 50 units of you. You can shoot and fight back,
Double kill.
but what do you do when
Not
you're out of
a
ammo?
row. Triple kill.
What do you do when you're out of ammo? Or if you in a one-on-one fight and somebody is this close to you,
That was a close one.
and your ultimate just come up, you would normally in a one-on-one fight with them this close, you will ult them. But because they remove the using your ultimate at this range, there's a guarantee that one person this close to you is going to kill you. Especially with this health drop, they're going to kill you. Two people this close to you, guaranteed they're going to kill you. You have no option to fight back at this range. At this range, because normally what you would do is try to close one down,
Mortal.
kill one, then ult the other one. Or you will ult one,
Keep it together.
you will ult one, causing the other one to waste their ammo trying to break your ult. You will land the first one. This is before the last nerf. You will land the first one at this range, and then you'll proceed to go and kill the second one before the last one. After the last ultimate change, it was a chance you can land the first one because two people attacking at the same time. There was a guaranteed chance they will go into a break. It was a guarantee. Even at this rate, two people who can attack you and shoot you at this rate, it was guaranteed they was going to break it by themselves with two people. Before the change, you can ult one, kill the other one, or kill one, they ult the other one. It was a guarantee. It was a guarantee that if somebody is this close on you, you was gonna get the first one before. Again, this is before the last shot. This range, within 10, 20 units of Yagorath, this was guaranteed before the last change. After the last change, this was less guaranteed, but still on more than 50%, depending on the champion. If it was a Victor and an Octavia, it wasn't guaranteed. If it was a Victor and a Tyrant, this wasn't guaranteed. If it was two hit scan, it wasn't guaranteed. If it was one hit scan plus Grok, Either way, it wasn't guaranteed at even at this range. This wasn't a guarantee if you were doing two hit scans. So you have to play smart. You wouldn't ever use your ultimate at this range against two hit scans. So you will try to bait one of them out. And if it's a Victor, Victor can run. So he will most likely get there before tired. He will most likely get there before Octavia, even with her jump. Which I say, Octavia's jump should be more like 45-degree angle, or her car should, like, instead of giving height, it should give it distance to where the at one of the cars where the max jump distance or arc is 45. It's just a thought. But yeah, at this range, it was guaranteed in a one-on-one fight after the last nerf. Before the last nerf, there's a chance that if they have a teammate with them, you can still land it before the last nerf. After the last nerf, if they had a teammate with them, there was no guarantee that this would land. It wasn't guaranteed. It was highly probable, but it wasn't guaranteed. But before that nerf, you there was guarantee you can land this close. Anything further than this, there was no guarantee. But now, you effectively made
Was to
Yagorath
stand
ultimate
in my
useless.
way.
You effectively made you fact. How do you nerf the wrong thing?